All great artists start somewhere, right? So I need a lot of help. Here's the plan. It's called Moki's 30-day bootcamp. It's mine. It's copyrighted. You can't copy this. The targets are values, anatomy, people, etc. Although I would like to have some fun. I've added a bit of little treats, so it's not just pure study. And now that you've seen the game plan, surely nothing can go wrong, right? No, it's not real. Before I can get better at drawing any faces, I have to remind myself that all humans are mortal and that we are really just a collection of skin and bones and tissues, and we are not gods, and one day we will die and this is what we'll look like. Sorry, what I was trying to say is that your skull sits under your skin, and it's what makes a human face not a puddle of glue. My failure on day one looks so freaking uncanny because eyes don't work like that. They're eyeballs that sit in eye sockets, not parallelograms. I think this is fine if I was trying to go for like a manhwa style, but this is a really bad attempt at realism. How should I learn to fix this mistake? I could go on and memorize a bunch of names of bones and hope to draw it, but I didn't choose human bio in high school for a reason, so here's what helped me. You need to make a link between an actual human face and the skull. You need to see how the skull creates form. Why are there dips in your face? Why does your eyes sit like this? Why is your nose pointy? Ask yourself questions like these and find out which bones do it. You don't need to memorize the names, just know what they look like and how to spot them on a face. And then you'll actually remember where to draw curves on your face, how to align body parts, and memorize proportions. Do you remember the Nerjo Fratjo trend where people would draw Gojo as if you were a uni student? A lot of people would draw it in their own art styles, and there was this one artist, I'm sorry if I said that wrong, who drew him in the most beautiful realism style, keeping all his Asian features intact, and I wanted to try that with Shinobu from Demon Slayer. Attempting to draw different features would improve my art, is what I thought. So I went through this rabbit hole of how to draw Japanese people and how do Japanese people look Japanese. Oh my god, I remember this rage bait drawing. It was on Twitter. How to draw Chinese, Japanese, and Korean people. I'm Asian, and the politically correct thing for me to say is that, oh no, Asians come in all shapes and sizes, and they do. But they also have some defining traits. What separates Japanese people from Koreans, Chinese, etc. appearance-wise is obviously the source of their ancestry. Their ancestors look different, okay? And this led me to the Jomon and Yayoi people. Long and short, the two groups have distinct facial features and they have blended together and mold how Japanese people look today. Japanese people are a mix of both Yayoi and Jomon features. And I thought, oh, I would draw Shinobu with Yayoi features because those are the ones depicted in traditional Japanese art, and I always headcanoned her as like, oh, Japanese noblewoman, very pale, that kind of vibe. Then I remembered she's 18 and she's a teenager, so she should have more rounder features, and we got a super generic portrait in the end. And again, it's from a lack of understanding of the face, which is limiting my ability to stray from reference. So I was terrified of this guy, but then I realized, if not friend, why friend shaped? He's here to help. So now that I know the skull, how can I build on that understanding to draw faces? We've got muscles under our skin, on top of our skull. And I knew that when I tried to draw the portrait from day one, but it felt like I was guessing when drawing. The Asara head takes those muscles and bones and simplifies them geometrically. Like, I was struggling with trying to draw a nose bridge, and I got it now. It's a neat guide to showing how light hits the face too. But when I was studying, I noticed I accidentally drew Silco, and that's because Arcane's art style is the Asara head. It influences the way their characters look. So what better practice of the Asara head than attempting to draw in the Arcane art style? The planes of the face are very obvious, with cheekbones, nose bridges, and eye bags very exaggerated and prominent. Although I feel Megan Fox is not the best person to draw because her features are kind of soft, so the portrait didn't really make full use of the Arcane art style and the Asara head. Also, the lips are not in perspective, but other than that, it's alright. But I had this one recurring thought looking at this painting over and over again. I should paint Manny Jacinto. He's literally the Asara head. Have you seen his bone structure? I did a value study trying to carve out forms without lines to see if I really understood how the planes form the face. And I'm really proud of this one. The eyes are still not great, but the cheekbones and the nose and the jaw are well defined. However, learning by myself, I mean, it's fine, but I do think traditional art materials and books and resources are important. So before I get to this book, we will get to the racism, just you wait. I did some gesture drawing. Oh yeah, here's like my indication of whether I think I did good on the drawing or not. This one, the line of action's pretty strong. Guy's seriously cheeked up. What is happening here? Oh, and my little figure skating phase. This was before Alyssa Liu Stateside. I was an OG. I was watching these people before Stateside, okay? Yeah, I don't remember who this— oh, this is Ballerina, right. But the others are all skaters. And then there's more skaters, as you can see. This one's good. Oh, and here's some little dance moves. If you can guess which K-pop group this is, you get some points, even though I don't even remember. Some action poses. This guy's also kind of cheeked up. And oh, I love these ones. Yeah, these are really good. I like the line of action here. Some badminton poses. And then I remembered the Australian Open was a thing, so I did watch it. I did these drawings way later. Oh my god, the Australian Open was in January. It's already May. 1/3 of the year has passed. Oh my, almost 1/2 actually. Then we move on to this beautiful book. We have to celebrate our differences. Jokes aside, seeing how an experienced artist breaks down drawings and giving reasoning is really helpful, and that's why you should read. Even you, who's watching this video on a second screen right now, I believe in you. You can do it. Trying to memorize names of bones is hard, and I don't think it's as productive as you think it is. You just need to know the general form, and then you can kind of understand how it will translate. If you go— whoa, shit! If you go to the next page, since I knew what the rib cage is, this bust I was trying to recreate was really easy. Okay, I'm gonna have to censor this one. Seeing the basic muscles and just being able to recognize them makes it so much easier to try replicate drawings because you actually know what you're looking at. But learning all the names, I don't know about that one. And here's some more skulls. What skulls? Skeletons. And some arm studies I did, and here's some more statues. Leg drawing. Here's the proportion guide I was trying to memorize. Eye studies here. They kind of lack some shading. I did some proper eye studies with color, faces at different angles. I skipped over day 12 in my sketchbook. It was filled with figure construction. My process of drawing full body poses is gesture, then the forms, then the muscles, then the details, then the clothes. But sometimes I'm too lazy to draw the gesture and the final product ends up looking super stiff. I don't even know where I found some of these reference pictures. I'm pretty sure this guy is meant to be Robert Downey Jr. I also drew Alyssa Liu. Yep, more the pose, less the face. And that ends my anatomy training arc. So what was the big exam to mark my progress? The free-run head. Don't let this little unassuming drawing fool you. It's captured the hearts of many people around the world. Is it anatomically correct? Nope. But in the modern age of AI at our fingertips, it's the true antithesis to everything that is soulless. A beginner having fun learning and being okay with being bad. There's something so beautiful about that. It's the pure human desire to improve at a skill you're new to. You might think it's bad art, but nope. If it can inspire someone, is it bad art? It serves its purpose, doesn't it? And here's where my attempt falls apart. I hate looking at this. It's not anatomically correct, nor does it have the heart of the original. It's just awful. Moving on, I needed practice of drawing people of different ethnicities, so I opened up Pinterest and I did a 1-minute per face sketch of some people. And here's some things I've picked up. East Asians have flatter faces, smaller eyes, lower nose ridges. South Asians have thicker eyebrows, deep set eyes, and clearly defined noses. Africans have larger lips, wider nasal tips, and defined jaws. And Latinos have prominent cheeks, and eyes can vary in shape and size from where they are geographically. This is obviously a reduction. There are plenty of people who go against these prescribed rules. Like, if you want to get better at drawing something, you just have to draw it a lot. That's really obvious, and I need to draw more ethnicities because this doesn't even account for anything similar to our population on this planet. I was looking for redemption though in drawing Japanese people because day 3 was rough. So I drew Nakamura Kazuha from Le Seraphim, and it was no better. It was genuinely no better. I did my girl so dirty. She looked like a doll. Not in a "aww" at all. More in a what the fuck, Annabelle, get away kind of way. Where was the saturation? Where was the eyebrows? Where was the soul? So whilst editing, I did some touch-ups and then fixed the perspective in the face because the selfie is angled in a way where the front part is more zoomed and should be distorted as opposed to the back or the part that's further away. The eye closer to the camera lens should be bigger. I also gave her back her dark brown eyes. I think the secret to making them not look like they're staring into the abyss is to draw reflections. At this point, I thought, okay, to mark my progress, I will make an illustration. And then I had to ask myself, what is the point of learning how to draw? Maybe it's to make a nice picture, but I think any artist should aim to tell a story. Not so much as in, oh, they were enemies to lovers in a faraway kingdom, but just to express a point. And this is why I really hate what I drew on day 17. So I've had this OC in my head since I was 12 and I thought I'd finally draw her, but I was so focused on making it look pretty that I can't even tell what the fuck is meant to be happening here. She's holding a dog. That's it. That's it. The rendering is nice, but that's it. But what's the purpose? There's none. And I'm afraid it'll be more like this in the future. I naively thought it must be my portrait. I practiced expressions in pen to see if my ability to give my characters emotion was the problem. Quick question, how do you emote? It's in your eyebrows and eyes and mouth probably, and wrinkles, and from how they're angled, from the squash and stretch and size. And this is why I could never endorse bleaching your eyebrows. That's like half the emotions from your face wiped. After that, I needed a subject for painting a facial expression. And I pinched Yellow Jacket Season 1. Oh my god, please watch it. If you watched it, it would make me so happy. It's about a girls' soccer team that crashes into the wilderness and they have to survive. And come on, teen girls are evil. They are some of the most depraved demographics in this world, so could you imagine how unhinged it is? I drew Bloody Matthews because I need her sad brown eyes. Now, I don't think artists often draw the facial expressions of people delighting in eating other people, so it was worthwhile. Is that a good excuse? Then I noticed her complexion felt fake. And all my portraits have plasticky looking skin, which led me onto day 20. One of the most artistically unique games I've ever played is Disco Elysium. There's something so captivating and lifelike about the portraits. It's as if they're about to pop out from your screen. Like, I'm really talking to this kid from Liverpool calling me a cunt. The reason why the portraits in this game look so good is first, how each character conveys their personality, story and concept just from their appearance. Look at Mr. Harry Dubois. You can tell he's a washed up alcoholic. And of course, there's gorgeous brushwork. The skin uses unconventional colors to add life and warmth into each character. Have you seen this painting guide? It might look like a TikTok trend, but it's actually useful. To paint convincing skin, you need to show blood flow. You need to add colors outside of your expected palette. And by expected palette, I mean you can't just stick to peaches or browns or whatever. You need reds, blues, and yellows. Just paint it on the designated areas and turn the opacity down or find a way to blend it with the skin. My colors are not bad, but it does feel like something is missing. So I tried again with the portrait on day 21, and this time it was Natalie. Again, from Yellow Jackets. This is from the cannibalistic feast scene. The other component to making a good portrait was setting me back. Likeness, not the colors. I think I glossed over it before when I did the repaint of Kazuha, but proportions really do matter. You could trace over somebody's face, but as soon as you resize their features, they're gonna become unrecognizable. It honestly looks fine, but it doesn't have Sophie Thatcher's nonchalant out-of-it face. Again, I couldn't help myself, so I was like, what can I change to make this portrait look better? I darkened and lightened some areas to make the values more readable. I shrank the width of the face. I also shrank the iris, and the portrait's likeness immediately improved. I did a self-portrait. Yep. To cap off everything I learned in the past week or so, I drew a face from memory. No photo reference, literally raw dogging it. And when you have this level of freedom, deciding what the face should look like becomes very overwhelming because you can draw whatever you want and you might fall back on defaulting to what you've practiced. So I had a design brief for this. I wanted to draw someone who looked as if they could be a neglected second male lead in a K-drama. But nah. Next up were, pretend this is chronological, hands. If you think I have some nugget of wisdom on how to draw hands, I don't. But I am better at drawing hands than feet because I refuse to draw feet. It's already day 25 and I have a lot more to do until I attempt the Mona Lisa and I'm running out of time. I'll keep it brief. I thought I would have infinite enthusiasm to draw. I don't. I'm getting a little burnt out with all these studies, so I thought putting a spin on a game I cherish would inspire me, because I'm not even mad, I'm just tired that so many people keep taking photos and applying shitty AI filters. And just what happened? What happened to our world? What happened to our oh so vibrant world? Every day when I see someone sing AI's praises about art, I just feel time eat away at me. Some artists have crazy technical skill which lets them execute simple concepts to a high standard, and I really admire the technical skill of Kim Ibi. All his illustrations have such detailed rendering in the hair and clothes, and I would love to learn how to do it myself. He actually has a Colosso course, but this bitch is broke. Subscribe so I can afford the course in the future. So I tried to figure out how he renders by myself, and spoiler, I had no clue. Folds are still magic to me, and there's still so much left to do. Today was a throwback to my childhood. Did you ever read or watch a movie or play a game and got so engrossed in it? It was like you had gone to this new exciting world. I really sympathize with the children of today. Technology has obviously given a lot. You can learn any skill you want, given you have the willpower and the discipline, and I guess enough resources to practice, but it has also taken a lot away. Children have forgotten how to be bored and enjoy simple things like a story about a world where you can forget about every worry you have, and how things used to be so simple. Movie stills are great practice for improving your storytelling, so I thought I would replicate one. And no, I have never watched this movie, but I know who directed it, Wes Anderson, and his ability to create this liminal, ominous mood is again something only achievable with practice and time. And every time I look at someone else's work, I realize that there is so much left for me to learn, which is exciting, but it's also incredibly daunting. That was all I could make. It's shit. It's terrible. I realized that the past 30 days, I had built up this goal to recreate one of the most aesthetically pleasing paintings of all time. And why? Let me set the record straight. I'm 16 years old. And yeah, I joke that I'm a hag, even though I'm young, because I really do feel old when I see people born earlier than me being so successful. And I'm sick of being bad at art, because I have realistically 1.5 years until I'm shipped off to law school. And by bad at art, I don't mean aesthetically. My art is fine in a technical sense, like there's obviously way more to improve, but I'm talking more in a soul sense. I'm so sick of being scared to draw anything I care about. And my art is good from an outsider's perspective. But what does it do outside of that? With the whole AI apocalypse, we search for meaning in between waves of bland nothingness. Every minute, more than 500 hours of content is uploaded. How much of that content do we actually remember? How much of my art do we remember? That's what I think. Am I any more daring or bold than when I was a child? You know, when you're a kid, you're not scared if what you make can't match your vision. You just create. But nowadays, it feels like all that joy is locked away by pixels on a screen, telling you you're not ready, that you're not good enough, that you'll never be good enough. So you end up never starting. Actually, I've been in a rabbit hole about Mount Everest. Long and short, capitalism has ruined Everest, like a lot of things, and a lot of rich people are insisting on trying to reach the summit when that mountain can kill you. It's an extraordinary feat for sure, but what interests me most are not the ones who actually complete the climb and have their little Instagram pic. I'm thinking more about those people who are still on that mountain, the ones who didn't make it back. And a lot of people go there searching for a purpose, for their miserable days on this planet to be worth something. Like this one achievement will set everything right, and I feel like I don't need to say this. If you are searching for self-worth through an achievement, or someone else's love, or anything like that, you should give up. You'll never find it. And these people are stupid. They're stupid for risking their lives and the lives of others to pursue this shit. But there is something so human about wanting to matter. These people think that if they climb this mountain, they will matter, and they would literally rather die than have the possibility of regret. How I feel that in my bones. I don't want to regret anymore. From when I wake up to when I go to sleep, all I can think about is this imaginary world inside of my head. I want to make people feel something with my art. Our world is so numbed that to feel anything when you consume something is rare. It's far from in between, but it's one of the best feelings you can ever have, and it's something that will shake you to your core. And these stories change you as a person, and you hold them dear to your heart forever and ever. And I want to make those kind of stories, similar to the ones who did it for me. But that story and world only exists to me in my head because I haven't started yet. And I've been thinking, if I do all this prep and work, it'll be perfect, and I just need to be patient so that my future self has the skills to execute my vision. But if you keep waiting and waiting and waiting, it will never come true. Perfection is a pointless pursuit. Actually, again, recently I went to an art gallery. They had an exhibition on by people a little bit older than me. They were not the best paintings I've ever seen in my life, but they all had a purpose. They all had a story behind it, made by a person. It was sculpted by the clay of every triumph, every setback, every loss and love in this world, and they all made people feel. Unlike my paintings, this is something that AI could never replace. A feeling so strong that they had to share it with others. A pretty painting is something AI can replace. Like, the effort and all the hard work that's gone into it is not replaceable, but to the untrained eye they look the same. But when you have these experiences, it's like the energy is infectious. These 13-year-olds on TikTok are better than me at drawing, because they actually feel something when they create. They're not just trying as hard as possible to get good. They create from a place of enjoyment and inspiration, whereas I don't. I just draw because it's a habit. You know what? 22nd of July. Do or Die. Kodansha's manga competition. I will write and draw that story in my head, and I will submit it, and I will be held accountable through this video. If you have the same problem as me, or if you're scared of chasing your dreams or whatever, I suggest you right now go and post that you're gonna do it, because then you'll feel really embarrassed if you don't. And if people are shitty to you, just ignore them, right? Because those people are not out to help you succeed. Who the fuck cares anymore? You and I might die tomorrow, so we may as well make our days on this planet count.